I think even we adopt the national social protection strategy, but I think we still need the assessment because so far the social protection scheme in Cambodia is still very fragile, and it's belong to various agencies. So we need to do the assessment to collaborate all the agencies to work together to identify and also costing the program, and we need to prioritize which program should we continue and which program should we invent to make sure that our social protection will be more concrete and more implementable and acceptable to both government and the people that we need to protect it.
The adoption of national social protection strategies is the first in centuries in Cambodia for social protection issue. And based on this scheme, it's kind of is a general scheme, so not specific. So we need another tool. It's called assessment based national dialogue in order to there are two purposes. First one is to costing the particular programs that we will implement under the national social protection scheme umbrellas, and the second purpose is to identify which priority areas inside these big policy schemes, so that we can choose which one is really relevant and is more needed for the government to do in the short times before we can extend to the comprehensive ones in the future. Yes.
We have one growing income divide, which is not making many people happy. Secondly, we have an aging population. Thirdly, we have still communities of people who are out of the mainstream, people with disabilities who are adults, who find it hard to get a job that will give them long-term sustainability. We also have a population that is in the middle income zone, and already the caregiving, taking care of their parents and their grandparents and their children is causing such a squeeze on their income. I think when we look at this kind of population and we look at these communities, it is good for us to do a review. And if we have a matrix like this, I think we should knuckle down and get onto that kind of work. I think it is crucial. No country can say that they really do not really need it, because we are in a world that is highly globalized, and in a world where all of us will be affected by any shift economically, and we also have demographic problems.
Assessment-based national dialogue for social protection is very relevant for my country, the Philippines. It can facilitate the process to help my country rationalize, harmonize, and prioritize programs for social protection. It encourages partnerships and multi-stakeholder participation, which is very important for successful policies and programs.
The ABND is relevant to the Philippines because, as I mentioned, we are in the process of coming out with guidelines or programs under our social protection operational framework and strategy. So the ABND is a scientific way of assessing where we are and costing also what programs we should be doing. And we are very glad that ILO will be helping us to this ABND, and ILO Manila is already initiating a program to do this.
The conduct of the National Assessment Dialogue is very relevant in the Philippines, because this is one way of bringing together all the stakeholders in the country. We know for a fact that to be able to come up with very effective social protection schemes, we have to consult with the different sectors who would play a big role not only in the design but also in the implementation of the social protection schemes.
The ILO has this experience already in a few countries in conducting assessment-based national dialogue exercises, including the costing component, and we plan to do that in as many countries as possible, starting with ASEAN countries, so that we can have a good understanding of the social security situation in all these countries, which will be anyway useful for the countries themselves, but also in the framework of the ASEAN community by 2015. This is the first thing. Second is to have an understanding of what works, what doesn't work in each country, so that we can come up with recommendations and support the development of new policies or the improvement of existing policies to expand social protection.